Welcome back. Today we're looking skyward, specifically at India's changing air defense picture. For years, the conversation was dominated by the MiG-21 fast, iconic, but definitely getting old.
Absolutely, a workhorse for decades.
But now, the focus is shifting decisively to a homegrown solution, the Tejas light combat aircraft, and even more specifically, its upgraded version, the Tejas Mk1A.
That's right, a really sleek, multi-role jet, designed right there in India by the Aeronautical Development Agency.
And our deep dive today is all about the power boost, the muscle that's going to take the Mk1A from being a promising aircraft to being the main frontline fighter, the one that finally lets the IAF retire those old MiGs.
It's a huge strategic shift, and it all hinges on a major deal.
Exactly. So let's talk about the key players in this deal that's got defense circles buzzing.
Okay, you've got Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, the big Indian aerospace company,
Right.
and then the American giant General Electric, GE.
And the key date here, the moment this really firmed up.
November 7th, 2025. That's when the pact was officially signed. And this wasn't just, a routine order. It signaled a real commitment.
Okay, let's dig into that right away. This whole agreement boils down to the heart of the jet, doesn't it? The engine. We're talking about the F404 GEIN-20 engines.
That specific engine, yes.
So for someone listening who follows defense, what does picking that engine actually mean for the Mk1A? It's not just a little more speed, is it?
Oh, definitely not. It's about proven reliability, first off. And crucially, getting a much better thrust-to-weight ratio.
Ah, okay.
The earlier Tejas versions, while capable, sometimes drew criticism for maybe lacking a bit of punch. The F404 GEIN-20 really changes that. You're looking at around 18,000 pounds of thrust,
Right.
which lets the Mk1A platform really live up to its potential as a proper 4.5 generation fighter. It means quicker acceleration, much better agility in a dogfight, and this is key in carrying more weapons or fuel farther.
That difference, moving from just capable to, well, genuinely high performance. That's the core of it.
Precisely.
So let's get into the numbers in this pack. HAL secured 113 of these F404 GEIN-20 engines, plus a full support package.
Right, 113 engines.
And these are specifically meant for the 97 Tejas Mk1A jets that are now on order. But wait, 113 engines for 97 planes? That sounds like a few too many.
Yeah, that ratio, 113 for 97, it actually tells you something important. It's smart planning, really long-term thinking.
How so?
Well, they aren't just buying one engine per plane. Those extra 16 engines, they're built in for spares. Attrition reserves, replacements needed when planes are flying hard, and also for lots of testing, ground tests, flight tests.
Okay, makes sense.
Especially with a high-performance jet like the Mk1A, remember. It's a 4.5 gen delta wing design. You absolutely need spare engines ready to go. Minimizes aircraft downtime. That's critical.
And speaking of performance, the Mk1A isn't just sitting around waiting for these engines to prove itself, is it? We're seeing it's already passed its weapons trials.
Exactly. This isn't just theory. It's demonstrated capability. These trials included firing the indigenous Astra missile.
That's the beyond visual range one.
That's the one. Key for engaging targets far away, outside visual range. And they also successfully fired the ASRAAM, the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile.
So the plane itself, the systems, they're ready for combat.
They are. What the GE engine brings is the reliable, powerful core needed to make sure those weapons can be used effectively, again and again, aggressively when needed.
Now, getting to this point, achieving this kind of readiness, obviously costs some money, a lot of money. Let's touch on the financial side.
Right.
The green light for these 97 jets came from the Cabinet Committee on Security. That was back in August 2025. And the price tag was huge, around 67,000 crore rupees.
Which, for our listeners overseas, translates to roughly $8 billion US. A very significant investment.
And the actual contract for the planes themselves was signed just a month after that approval in September 2025.
Correct. But the delivery, that's where the timeline stretches out. The engines, these GE engines we're talking about, they start arriving in 2027.
2027.
Okay. And deliveries continue right through 2032. Okay. So that's a 5-year window, which gives HAL, down in Bengaluru, the steady supply needed to manage their assembly line, integrate the engines, and roll the finished jets out.
And the engine deal itself, just for those 113 GE engines and the support, that specific part, is valued around $1 billion US.
About that, yes. But it's interesting, this is more than just, buying a critical component off the shelves. There's a geopolitical layer here, too.
You mean beyond just the price? Is this deepening ties between India and the US?
I think it absolutely is. It's a strategic move. You're deliberately blending proven American engine tech with India's own growing aerospace capability.
Right.
Plus, deals this big often come with offset requirements. That usually means GE has to reinvest a portion of that $1 billion back into India's defense industry, maybe through tech transfer, maybe setting up local partnerships.
Which feeds into Indy's bigger goal of eventually building its own engines, right?
Exactly. It supports that long-term aim for self-reliance, which is crucial for their future aircraft plans.
Okay, this is where we need to zoom out a bit and talk about why this is all so urgent. The Indian Air Force, the IAF, is playing a tough numbers game right now.
That's putting it mildly.
We're hearing that as of late 2025, their combat squadrons have actually dipped below 30. What does that number falling below 30 really mean in strategic terms?
It means they're stretched thin. Needlessly thin, some would argue. You have to remember the goal, the official requirement, is 42 combat squadrons.
42. And each squadron has, what, 16 to 18 jets?
Typically, yes. That full strength of 42 squadrons is what planners believe is needed to confidently handle a potential two-front threat scenario.
Yeah.
That's the baseline they plan against.
So being below 30, that's a significant gap, almost 30% below target.
It's a real vulnerability.
Yeah.
And it creates serious concerns about maintaining air dominance across all required fronts simultaneously.
And we know the immediate reason for that recent dip, don't we?
Yes, it directly ties back to what you mentioned earlier, the retirement of the MiG-21s.
Yeah.
Specifically, the 23 Squadron stood down its MiGs in September 2025, and that directly caused the number to drop below 30.
The MiG-21s served for so long, the backbone really, but their time is clearly up. They've become a liability in some ways.
Precisely. An amazing aircraft in its day, but airframes only last so long, they've reached the end of their service life. So every single new Tejas Mk1A that rolls off the line, it really counts.
Like a critical piece on a chessboard.
Exactly. That roar from these 113 new GE engines isn't just noise, it's the sound of the IAS actively trying to plug a critical gap in its defenses. It's about moving from a worrying shortfall towards enhanced capability, and quickly.
So to really understand where the Tejas fleet is heading, it helps to look back quickly. This isn't the first big order for the Mk1A.
No, not at all. If you rewind to 2021, the IAF placed that first major order for 83 Tejas Mk1A jets. That cost around 46,000 crore rupees. That was the first big commitment to this specific, more advanced variant.
And before the Mk1A, there was the original Tejas, the basic light combat aircraft, or LCA.
Right. 40 of those were initially ordered,
Yeah.
and most are already flying. I think 35 are currently operational with the IAF.
Didn't the first squadron, the Flying Daggers, get their planes quite a while ago?
They did. Number 45 Squadron, the Flying Daggers, received the very first operational LCA way back in July 2016. So, yeah, this program has been evolving for a long time, step by step.
Okay, so let's add it all up. You've got the original 40 basic LCAs, then the 2021 order for 83 Mk1As, and now this new order for 97 Mk1As.
That's the picture.
So projecting forward, once this whole, 15-year delivery plan is complete, the IAF could potentially have 40 of the basic LCAs and over 180 of the Mk1A variants flying.
It represents a major recapitalization of the fighter fleet, a huge shift toward domestically produced aircraft.
But even that isn't the end of the story, is it? This big Mk1A deal, it's really paving the way for something even more advanced.
Correct. It's seen as a bridge, really, a crucial step towards the next evolution, which is the Tejas Mk2.
The Mk2, what's different about that one?
Well, the Mk2 is planned to be significantly bigger, carry more payload, have longer range, and be more powerful. It's designed to be a true medium-weight multi-role fighter, a step up from the light fighter category of the Mk1A Mk1A.
And when might we see that?
The current projection, I believe, is for it to make its first flight around 2027. That's the target.
So the Mk2 is the real future platform then. What are the numbers looking like for that, and how does it link back to that self-reliance goal?
The plan is ambitious. They're talking about eventually acquiring at least 120 of the Mk2 aircraft. And crucially, the long-term plan is for the Mk2 to be powered by an indigenous engine.
Ah, okay. Moving away from reliance on foreign suppliers like GE.
Exactly. So the Mk1A deal with the GE F404 engines gets capable jets into squadrons relatively quickly, fills that urgent gap. Meanwhile, the Mk2 program pushes hard for that complete technological sovereignty in aero engines. It's a two-pronged approach.
It sounds like a solid plan on paper, but let's be real here, defense procurement is complicated. Delays happen.
They certainly do.
You mentioned the first order for 83 Mk1As from 2021. That one actually slipped, didn't it, by about a year?
Yes, reports indicate it slipped by about 4 quarters, pushed the full delivery completion date out to 2029.
So, given that the first Mk1A order already saw delays, does relying on GE for these 113 engines introduce another potential bottleneck? Could dependence on a foreign supplier cause new holdups for this latest batch of 97?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or rather, the billion-dollar question here. On one hand, having a firm contract with a reliable supplier like GE for a critical, proven component like the F404 should actually help stabilize the supply chain. It removes one major variable.
Okay, so it could be a positive thing for scheduling.
It could be. It definitely gives HAL a major shot in the arm regarding engine supply certainty. However, the real bottleneck often isn't just getting the parts delivered. It's the integration, the assembly, the testing, the quality control on HAL's end. Ramping up production for nearly 100 advanced fighter jets over the next decade is a massive industrial challenge.
Regardless of where the engines come from.
Exactly. The GE deal secures the engine supply, which is huge. But the challenge of hitting the production targets consistently still rests heavily on domestic manufacturing capacity and efficiency.
So, pulling it all together then, this isn't just about buying engines, it's a really strategic commitment, wouldn't you say? The growing Tejas Mk1A fleet, powered by these GE engines, it genuinely sharpens India's edge in the air.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It takes the Tejas program from a somewhat slow incremental development into a large-scale fleet modernization effort. It directly tackles that critical squadron shortage we talked about.
Providing immediate, high-quality capability.
Yes, 4.5 generation capability that's needed now given the regional security dynamics. It replaces obsolete aircraft for something far more effective.
So what's the takeaway here for you listening to this? It really means you're witnessing a significant shift in India's defense posture, moving away from anxieties about aging equipment towards a concrete plan of action building and deploying modern, capable, homegrown fighters in large numbers.
And the scale is just immense when you add it all up. The 40 basic LCAs, the 180 plus Mk1As planned, and then looking ahead to 120 plus Mk2s, that's a generational transformation of the IAF's combat fleet, a huge multi-decade undertaking.
It really is.
But it does leave us with a final thought, a question maybe. Given the delays we've already seen with the Mk1A production, how realistic is that ambitious 2027 target for the first flight of the much more advanced Mk2?
Especially since the Mk2 aims for that indigenous engine.
Precisely. Making the leap from integrating a proven foreign engine like the GE F404 in the Mk1A to developing, testing, and mass-producing a completely new, high-performance indigenous engine for the Mk2. That's a monumental technological and industrial challenge.
Can India overcome those domestic hurdles to meet that accelerated schedule and achieve true self-reliance in engine tech?
That's the big question to watch. It's clear the ambition is there, the need is there, but the execution will be critical. Definitely something to keep an eye on. These wings are really just starting to spread.